My name is Rebecca and this is Sweetheart Gal, and today I'm going to show you how to make cheesy biscuits. They're drop biscuits, they're incredible, and I can think of nothing better on a snowy day, the sun's out, what's better than eating a biscuit? So I'm going to show you how to make them. So the first most important thing you want to make sure is that your butter is cold and your buttermilk. You're going to need the following ingredients: some garlic powder, some salt, herbe de Provence, baking soda, baking powder, some sugar, and of course cayenne pepper. This is the kicker. So you're going to start off with some flour. So it's 4 cups of flour. Okay, next you need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is what makes you look professional. And next, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt always makes everything taste good. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. So once you have your dry ingredients together, you want to whisk them. Just makes it a little bit lighter and fluffier. You could put this through a sifter too, but who has time for that when you want biscuits? I think in some countries they call these scones, aka England. But this is a different kind of scone. This is a biscuit, and it's a drop biscuit. So there's not a lot of work involved. Whisking is done. And to the flour, you want to add a 3/4 cup of butter. Okay, whoa, Nelly. It's supposed to be 6 ounces. You know, they say a pound of butter is equal to a pound of fat. So that's basically half a pound of fat. Wow, okay. Well, we're going to use it. Sometimes I plop it in the... Plop it? Sometimes I put it in the freezer, but it has to be cold. And the next step is my favorite part. It's getting the butter incorporated, and I like to use my hands. You can also use a pastry cutter, but I just like the way it feels. You're just doing this with your fingers. I really love that feeling. You know in the movie Amélie, when she would stick her fingers in those beans? I love that moment. That's me too. The key to this recipe is you want that butter to explode when it gets into the oven. And when it rises, it gives these incredible little air pockets, which makes it so crispy. I wouldn't recommend using any kind of low fat in this. There's no low fat in this. Use the real thing. It's a biscuit. The thing about these biscuits is you have to get through baking them without eating them all. Good luck! That seems about right. This is the consistency you're looking for. So you're going to set that aside and move on to the wet ingredients. Okay, so after the butter, you're going to add buttermilk. And the great thing about buttermilk is that it's already curdled. If you don't have it, it's fine. Just take regular milk and add about 3 tablespoons of vinegar to your milk way ahead of time, and it will curdle really nicely. So you need 2 3/4 cups. Oh, it's so lovely and thick. I'm sure if my husband opened the fridge and poured this in his coffee, he would be upset with me. The key to really fluffy biscuits is not to overmix the flour. I think that's the case for everything. Very delicately. And the next ingredient is sharp cheddar. Make sure it's a really nice old cheddar. The older the better. So you need about 2 cups. Wow, this looks like more than 2 cups. Okay, I'm going to take a little out. I think I got a little excited with the cheese. And now I'm going to add the most important ingredient. I wouldn't recommend skipping it. It's what makes it taste really good. And that is cayenne pepper. And you need a 1/4 teaspoon. Next, you want to take a parchment-lined tray. Happens to be my favorite color. And one of these. This is like a fancy ice cream scoop. It's a Cuisinart something or other. I don't know, it's just a handy-dandy scooper. So, parchment-lined sheet, because who wants to do dishes? And it doesn't have to be perfect. The thing about these biscuits is you want those little pointed tops, because that's what makes them taste so delicious. I would be quite generous. But see how they look not perfect? I mean, I used to do the kind of biscuits that you have to roll and cut, but who has time for that? I'm being quite generous actually with these. What I love about them is they're not perfect. Who needs perfection? Next, you want to brush them with egg, and this is what gives them that golden, crispy outside. Try not to spill too much on the tray because it does burn. Try to coat as much as possible. Wow, these are going to be huge.
And you want to put these babies in the oven at 435 for about 22 minutes.
I mean, wouldn't you? Did you know that your entryway is supposed to say something about you the minute your guests arrive? Interesting. What's in your entryway? But maybe I'd like to be French. These smell amazing. Then you want to take just a whack of butter. Looks like about 3 tablespoons. You want to add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of garlic, just depending on how much you like it. I use about 3. You want to add herb de Provence, probably about a teaspoon. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So you just want to brush it on top. And when this butter hits these biscuits, you're in trouble. You want to do this while they're hot. There's something regal about brushing butter on top of a crispy pastry. I dare you to eat just one. I normally don't make them this big. I think I was just being extremely generous for TV. They look so amazing. I just have to try one. These are so big. I don't know. I normally don't make them this big. I think I was just excited for camera. They should be about this size. But anyway, who doesn't want a double biscuit? They're so good when they're fresh out of the oven. If you see the bottom, they're so nice and golden and crispy. And all those little parts where we put the egg on top, I mean, look at that. Good enough for a bite. Okay, I'm going to try one. Wow. This is so good. That can make any snowy day wonderful. Who cares about anything? This looks like a really good portion for me. I mean, I don't have to share them. Not really. Dangerous. Definitely dangerous. Do you want one? Nobody's looking. I mean, you know you're going to eat one before brunch is served. So good. My dad would be proud. Okay, let me just pile them up. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.